Hello, hello, and welcome to a brand new season and a new episode of Mourning Tea. I'm Ani, your host, and I am here with someone who is very near and dear and special to me, and I have no doubt y'all are gonna fucking love her. This is Adriana. You wanna say hi?
Hi, guys.
So tell us, because I think, okay, guys, the reason I brought her on today is she's like a very unique blend of artistic brain and also logical brain. I feel like you're a lot like me. Like, yes, the art is very fun, but we have that thing in us that like numbers and shit don't necessarily scare us. So can you tell the people like what it is you specialize in?
So, for the past 20 plus years, I was a hairdresser and then I was a salon owner. And then recently have got into helping people like manage their finances. So, anything from budgeting, getting out of debt, um, learning how to invest, learning how to save for their future. And so, yeah, this has just been something that I've always done for myself. I grew up with like a drill sergeant dad that was like all about saving money, never spent a dollar,
Wow.
buys clothes at Sam's. Like he, like
You know what though? Costco hits sometimes
I
though.
know
You sleep on Costco.
it does. I was there the other day and saw some pants, and I'm like, well,
You're like, "Ah, okay,
this is
let's
my life now.
I swear that's
But
how you
yeah,
know we're getting older when all of a sudden we're like, that vacuum looks pretty nice. Those
I know.
Costco are looking good.
I get excited about new appliances. So yeah, I just have seen like obviously through my time in the hair world that like we're not taught to manage money, and especially because we have inconsistent income. Like one week we could be rich and the next week we have zero money. And so I was like, you know what? I think the the biggest turning point was COVID. We
Mhm.
went into lockdown, everyone was panicking, and I owned a salon then, and all of my employees were panicking, like not having income. And I was chilling, not because I'm rich or I have all this money, but I was because I literally trained for this. Like, that was like, oh, here's my time. The time that like I literally saved for this. I've always worried, like, what if I can't work? If we break our hand or leg or something, then we can't work. I've always saved money for that. And so when that happened, I was obviously stressed for tons of other reasons, but the financial part I was not stressed about. And seeing my staff panic made me think like, wait, like why have I not taught them this? And why like my staff should not be living paycheck to paycheck. So that's when I decided to start teaching them like financial literacy and teaching them how to save money, how to not live paycheck to paycheck. So like most people in my salon own houses, they all
Wow.
have retirement funds, all of that. So that became important to me. And so then I was like, wait, I need to help everyone, of course, because that's what I always think. Like, well,
Fair.
yeah, I should not just do it for my staff. I think everyone should learn this. So yeah, it just has kind of grown into now me opening it up to other hairdressers, other salon owners. And yeah, it's been fun.
I love that, especially, and I feel like one of the hardest things is you are literally dealing with the thing that most people are like the most embarrassed about. It's hard for someone to be like, yeah, I'm in debt, or yes, I have, because there's good debt and there's bad debt, right? Like if you don't have your house paid off, you're technically in debt, but that's different than you went on a shopping spree and spent 10 grand on your credit card. Like it's not the same type of debt.
Right.
And I feel like, especially for stylists, we literally are known for being bad with money. Like,
Which I want to change that because I'm like, we make a lot of money, especially if you do extensions and stuff like that. Like, you can be bringing in 300 grand a year and people are just blowing it off. And I'm like, you can live off 200 grand and save that other 100 grand and be set up for life.
mhm.
And I just don't, I think people don't think it's attainable. I think they don't know how to do it. Um, and I get it. I mean, numbers can be confusing. I love numbers. I was a math and science major. And
Shut
so,
up. Were you really?
yeah,
No fucking way. Okay, well, then no wonder you like all this number talk. Yeah.
yeah. And it like words scare me. Like, I read books for fun. If I have to write an email, I'm going to cry. I am like that. Words for me, I don't know if it has something to do with like growing up learning two languages, that words are a little confusing for me. So but numbers make sense. They're always black and white for me. And so like I feel like when it comes to finances, that's the least judgy thing I'm ever about. Like, I have helped people that were like hundreds of $1,000s in debt and now they've paid it off. Yeah.
Shut the fuck. I was literally going to ask, like, what's the most in debt someone's been and, like, where are they now?
I think the highest was a couple that I had, and about 200 grand in debt. And it was like student loans, credit cards, that kind of stuff. So, um, but they both made really good money because they had student loans and they had good jobs. So it was just more of like locking down and like sacrificing for 2 years. Like it literally took them 2 years to pay it off.
That's
And
not very long.
no, because like they lived off one income and used the other income to pay it off. So it was like, I mean, but they were committed. And I think that's the biggest thing is like when you have that much debt, like you have to commit to it and know that it's temporary and know that like, you know what, in 2 years, I'm going to have freedom. I can breathe. And that, like, that feeling, I think that's what they were chasing. So it was
Yeah.
easy for them to do it.
Wow, that's crazy. What do you feel like is the biggest budgeting mistake that stylists make? Because the minute I think about budgeting mistake, I'm like, well, number one, the cash they get, they shove under their pillow and they're like, I've never seen that a day in my life. Like, if it didn't hit my bank account, it doesn't exist. And like, I've known people where she actually wasn't even a stylist, she was a nurse. It was an old friend of mine. And she'd be like, oh my God, I have like $5,000 in the bank right now. I'm stacked. I got so much money. And I was like, hey, girl, you still have to pay rent, your bills, your car, you need food. I'm like, you don't have $5,000. By the time you subtract your necessities, you're down to like $700 already. But like, I've realized that that doesn't click with a lot of people.
No, they get their paycheck and they already have spent it before they even got it. And
Yeah.
yeah, because they see like, oh, I'm busy, and then they're like, ooh, my check's gonna be $5,000, and they're like, what am I buying? Like they've already made plans to go out that weekend. They're going to dinner. They're going to buy a new outfit. So I think one of the biggest mistakes, especially for hairdressers, because we have inconsistent income, is we plan for our highest months. So and and I teach to plan for the lowest month. So if you consistently make, I don't know, 8,000 a month, always budget for that. Don't budget for 9,000 because the next month you had a 9,000 or a $10,000 month. Always budget for the 8,000 and kind of stay within that range. And then anything above that, I teach to either put it in savings or go on a vacation or do something with that because that's just like your bonus money.
Love
So
that.
it shouldn't be really included into your actual budget.
I love that. What about stylists? Because I feel like I'm sure you're gonna laugh the minute I say it. Because I know these bitches say that where they're like, "Oh, it's not like a money problem. I just need more clients." I'm like, "Well, is it though? Because if you're bad, I feel like if you're bad with $100, you're gonna be bad with $1,000."
Oh, for sure. So one of the stories that I love to tell people because, well, I know everyone's going to talk shit because they're like, that was 20 years ago. But like, I bought a house when I was an apprentice. I was making 5.15 an hour plus tips, and I bought a house. Now it wasn't a $200,000 house. Like back then, you could get a house in maybe not a bad area, but like not the like ideal area, not where all the like young people are living, but it was more like a family area. And I think I paid like $55,000 for a house. It was a 2 bedroom, one bath, 1,000 square feet. It needed work, but I bought it and I like renovated it every year. I saved my little money and I would renovate it. And it was like everybody's like, "How did you do that?" And I'm like, "Because I didn't buy above my means. Like I bought what I could afford. I like my dad was like, "You're not moving out unless you're buying a house." Like he just was like, so I had to save. And so I just think no matter how much you make, and yeah, it's not about the clientele. It's like, what are you doing with the money that you're bringing in now? Because if you can't manage that, you're not going to be able to manage $200,000 like that. Like you're going to go and blow it. And so again, I was able to buy a house off that. And obviously as I made more money, I upgraded, got a different house, but I kept that house for years and ended up selling it for like 4 times what I paid for it. And then I had it as a rent house for a long time, but I've always bought within my means. And so I always tell people like work with what you have instead of always trying to chase more money because you like you just never know what can happen. I mean, even now, like I'm not behind the chair anymore, so my income is steady because I'm a salon owner and I have a salary, and like my income doesn't change. So there isn't that hustle where I can be like, oh, I want to go on vacation. Let me take 2 more clients. Like I have a set income now. And so I just think it's more of a mindset and your behavior and like learning how to work with what you have versus trying to chase more and more and more. Cause I mean, it's never going to be enough.
It's never. And I do feel like that it's like the keeping up with the Joneses type of
Yeah.
thing. I think not only is it like that with money, but it's like that with things. And I can say that as someone who, I mean, I lived in Southern California for 8 years. You want to talk about a more mentality? Jesus Christ. Southern California is so gnarly. Like, and it's like, even if you're like, I don't even think I need it, you're like, but everybody else is doing and doing and doing, and maybe I should. And it starts to honestly, it fucks with you. And I'm someone, what's your background, like your ethnicity?
I'm Mexican.
Okay, so I'm Puerto Rican,
Yeah.
so I feel like we're basically the same. So I
Yeah.
understand when your dad's like, you're not fucking moving out, especially as a girl. They're
Yeah.
like, no, you're not leaving. I always say, like, in at least like Puerto Rican culture for women, you live with your parents until you get married almost. Like, you no, you're not gonna go live with a bunch of random people in a house. That's just like not a thing. But like, I do feel like in Southern California, there's always just like a more. You have to keep upgrading or you're left behind. And like, I wasn't raised that way, but I'll be honest, like that got me for a little bit. And I feel like it was the worst with like clothes and shoes and things like that, that all of a sudden it was like, well, it's just what you do. Everybody else is doing it. And like, I've had people where I saw this trend on TikTok for a while, which I like loved, where people were like, let me actually de-influence you. Let me show you all the things in my life that are so normal, because everybody's like, fancy thing, another fancy thing, another fancy thing. And she was like, this is my kitchen. The cabinets are old and I don't like love them, but like they work. And I sat there and I was like, that is such, like, I wish more of that happened, because even like when we bought our house, we bought it, oh my god, a year or two ago now? What fucking year are we in? 26? So it had to be
Yeah.
like, it was probably a year, 2 years ago now, I guess. Holy shit, that's crazy. Yeah, 2 years ago. It's March. And my house was built in 99. And there are some things where I'm like, I don't think this has been updated since. Like, why does my living room have green carpet? But now when I look
I
at it, I'm
love
like,
it.
I'm kind of used to it. I kind of like my green carpet.
Yeah.
But I know someone who wants really fancy things would be like, your fucking carpet's green. I'm like, yeah, it should. You know what? That bitch sure is. But I love what you're saying. Like, it's not about more. It's if you can figure out, like, make do with what you have. I feel like then in the long run, you're going to end up having more, whether it's more space, more time, more money. But like, the keeping up with the Joneses is so dangerous.
No, for sure. And I think too, like with the industry that we're in, because we're in the beauty industry, so that's all we see. And especially with social media, like we're constantly comparing our lives to other people. And so, I mean, I've gone through it. I used to have a bad shopping addiction. Thankfully, I never went into debt for it. But I mean, any extra money I have, I spent on shopping. And then one day I was like, what am I doing? Like, yes, I've always taken care of my future and all that, but like, do I really need more stuff? And so now I am more about investing into staple pieces and things that are going to last a long time. So like price per wear and that kind of stuff.
Love that.
And yeah, I feel like God did this for a reason. He had me marry a man who just is very content with the least amount of things possible.
Is your husband my husband? If you look
Probably.
at our closet, it's Stephen, Ani.
Yeah. Literally, I'm in my office right now and the entire room is a closet.
I
Like,
mean, I'm sitting in my office, but that's my library, like
yeah.
that. And you go, keep going, yeah.
No, yeah. So like thankfully, like I feel like he's helped me like balance out of like living more simply. And we call him Dollar Dave because he finds every way to save us money. Like he shops the bulk section at the grocery store. Like he always like he's finding ways to save us money all the time, which I love and appreciate. But it's just
Dollar
funny because
Dave, stop it.
yeah,
I also love your husband. He's so sweet.
I know. So it's like I'm like so fortunate for, and I'm thankful for him and I love it because he does remind me of like we don't need everything. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Like and there's some things that we splurge on like vacations. We never hold back on vacations. That's what I live for. When we go on vacation, we spend, we eat, we see all the things, but when we're here in Dallas, I'm just like I don't need to go out to eat every day. We eat at home, we our car's paid off. Like we don't need like all this fancy stuff, but vacation is what we splurge on. And that's why I always tell people like find your thing that you do not mind spending money on because I'm not against spending money. Like we only have one life, so do your thing, live it, and if that's going to make you happy, then do it. But don't go into debt for it, because that's stressful. That's going to mess up a whole other thing, your nervous system, your bank account, your future, all of that. So it's like, find your one thing if that's your why and that's why you work, and spend your money on that. Don't spend it on dumb things that don't really matter.
I love that. And I've always said, like, for me, obviously you can see that's maybe an eighth of my library. That is, it's a tiny, small portion. I've always said the one thing I will never budget and I refuse to budget are books for me.
Yeah.
I read so much. And now that I'm on audiobooks, like between audiobooks and physical copies and Kindle versions, like that for me, if someone were to be like, you have a book budget you have to stick to, I'm telling you right now, it would probably crush a part of my soul. Like I'm even currently juggling two books and narrating a third. Like I don't, that doesn't, a book budget, like it doesn't, I'm so sorry, I can't commit to that. So then what about any stylist that's listening, right? That hears what you're saying and they're like, damn bitch, I got a lot of debt. I would love to be out of debt. But then they hear also what I'm saying of like, yeah, but there are some things I can't give up. I feel like we need to almost like move away from the not illusion, but I feel like the like incorrect statement of like being on a budget means you strip away everything that brings you joy. Like that's it, you don't get anything, it's the weekend, you're at home, oh you don't need Netflix, take away Netflix. Like it's not about taking you down to caveman status, it's about getting you out of debt.
Right. Yeah, and so the way that I teach with budgeting is that I always have a fun budget. And so, things that, like I was saying, like that you have to have that make you happy, and like buying books make you happy. Okay, so then maybe you don't buy coffee every day and you make your
Yo.
coffee at home. You're still going to have coffee. It's
Yeah.
just going to be at home now.
Yeah.
But also, if coffee makes you happy and you don't care about books, then spend your money on coffee. So it's like you pick your thing that you want to spend money on, but as long as it's like you're still hitting your goals. Like I'm an extreme person, so I'm an all or nothing. And so for me, and I'm very very disciplined, which I know not everyone is like that, but if I have a goal, I will do everything in my power to hit it, because I have to do it as quickly as possible. But I also understand that not everyone is like that. And
Mhm.
so the way that I teach is like, okay, you can still have maybe a bite size of the things that you love while we're sending all the rest of your money to your debt. And then once that's paid off, then we can redirect those dollars to do what you love more. And
Love.
yeah, that way it's not like, again, we have one life. I don't want to go my whole life paying off debt. Like that's boring, and you're going to give up. So if you just like go extreme and completely cut out anything fun in your life, then you're going to give up after a month. And so I always say, like, let's keep a couple things that you love while we pay off debt. And then once that's paid off, then we can do something else.
That almost reminds me of like going on a diet. My
Yeah.
husband, who is my God bless that man. He is one of the, you want to talk about a dedicated motherfucker? He is disciplined. Like right now, he's literally, oh, he's in Texas in at Starbase in
Oh my God.
where the fuck south, almost like close to the Mexican border. He's
Oh yeah.
literally building a launch pad for a rocket right now, which is a wild job. And so that means right now, 5 days a week, he's working about 12 hours. And on the sixth day, he's working 8 to 10. This is a very long, very hard job. Girl, he was up today at 4 a.m. going to the gym. He
I
meal
love it.
preps every, yeah, he goes to the gym still, even though he's working 6 days a week, minimum 10 hours a day. He goes to the gym 5 days a week. He meal preps 7 days a week. He's always meal prepping food. On the weekends, they might like barbecue down at the hotel with all the guys, or they might go eat dinner one night. But like, he is the most disciplined human on earth that I know. And I do think sometimes that makes me almost like unempathetic to everyone else, where I'm like, if he does it, I mean, including myself, I'm a piece of shit compared to my husband. Like I'm nowhere near as good as he is on anything. But it's just so crazy, like to see someone so disciplined that for him, he's like, it's not an option if I go to the gym, you just get up and go. You
Right.
just do that. It's a period, full stop. And like same like, and then like me on the flip side, like it, like there is nothing in the world I wouldn't give up to have an open book budget. Oh, I can't eat out? Great, I don't care. My clothing budget is 0 a month, still don't fucking care. I can't have coffee? That's easy, I don't like coffee anyway. Oh, I can't buy liquor and alcohol, which FYI is incredibly expensive. I realize, like I don't drink, but I'm like, what the fuck y'all mean? You're paying how much for a singular drink? Like, those things are generally easy. I would say if someone was like, Anna, you can't smoke weed, I'd be like, that's a bummer. I don't drink alcohol, but I do smoke weed most days of that. I'd be like, damn, I have to make what I have last then if the budget is zero. But like, there are very few things where I'm like, there's no way you could ever make me give this up. So I
Yeah.
love that you have that. It's not about being miserable or caveman status. It's just about not being like so fucking miserable all the goddamn time and stress. Debt is stressful.
It's so stressful.
I'm convinced there is no bigger stressor in the world than money. There can't be. I think couples break up because of it. People have mental fucking breakdowns because of it. Because the minute like you're like, I literally don't have money to pay my bills, or you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be behind. What do I do? Do you feel like that also makes people make stupid decisions? Like,
Oh yeah, I mean, money's so emotional, and I didn't realize that until I started getting in and helping people, like how emotional it is, and it stems from what they were taught as a child. Like I was taught, like I had two extremes. My mom has a dollar, she spends five. Like, and my dad, my dad is the complete opposite. He acts like he's never going to be able to eat again when he has plenty of money. And I think it's just like where he came from. You know, he's from Mexico. He grew up with nothing and made do with it. And so now it's like he's always like he's retired. He could want for nothing, but he's like it's never enough. And then where my mom is just like living her best life and not with a without a care in the world. And so I wanted something in the middle that was just like, okay, how do we marry those two extremes? And then so yeah, like when I started working with people, I realized how emotional, and even for me, I catch myself doing things that like that were engraved in me as a kid. Like my mom, because she was such a spender, she would hide things that she bought from my dad. And I catch myself sometimes doing that randomly, which my husband could like he does not care at all. He
he's
trusts
the
me
most chill
100%.
human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I could like literally have 10 packages at the door. He wouldn't care. But there's something in me that still kind of panics with that. Like, oh my God, is he going to get mad? Because my dad would get mad at my mom. And so even though he doesn't care. So there is things that are just ingrained in us that we grew up learning, which is like the thing that I try to help people with, like how to
Yeah.
reset your pattern, how to reset your mindset around money, because we are taught these things. And then I think just society, like, you know, we put so much pressure on us to have all of this stuff, and people have a lot of shame around money. And so I think it's just hard because it's like all of those emotions mixed with also this like thing that it almost doesn't have any meaning. Like we put the meaning to it.
we lit Just like a credit score is so fucking stupid. Who started that? Credit scores, and given my credit's good, but like if we really think about it, what? Credit scores are ridiculous. That's a pet peeve.
It's so crazy. You know what's funny is that like I always have people like I have friends that are having kids that are grown now, and they're like, "Do you think my kids should get a credit card to build credit?" And I'm like, "Absolutely not." Like, and they're like, "Well, you need a credit card to build credit," and I was like, "No." Like my husband, when we started dating, he was 33, I believe, had never had a credit card in his life, and then obviously when we started like combining our finances and looking at stuff, his credit score was over 800, and he's never had a credit card in his life. He had no debt. And I was like, how in the world did you build that? And so I started like researching, and so utility bills build credit, your cell phone bill builds credit, obviously a car, he had a house. So all of that little stuff. So I always tell people like put maybe a utility bill in your kid's name. That way it starts to build their credit. So you can build credit without a credit card. I think everyone thinks you have to have a credit card to do it. Now, I'm not against credit cards. I love credit cards because we use points for everything, but I have the discipline to pay it off literally every 2 weeks. When we get paid, it gets paid off. So that way we get those points. But unless you have the discipline to do that, I don't recommend you having a credit card unless you know you can pay it off.
Yeah. And I will also say if someone's listening and you're feeling embarrassed, like, damn, I don't have that discipline, that's okay. That doesn't make you a piece of shit. It
No.
doesn't mean you're fucking stupid. It doesn't mean you're a piece of shit. It doesn't mean that you suck. You are just literally a different type of person. Different brains work in different ways. In the same way that art is easy for me, but so is technology. I love technology, putting together courses and funnels and emails, all those things. I'm telling you, I could literally do blindfolded, like learning any kind of new technology. Give me a couple hours, I'm a fucking get it. My brain is wired for that. Some
Yeah.
people's brains just aren't wired for other things, but that doesn't like make you wrong. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
And
even, go
that's
ahead.
what I teach. Like, yeah, it's like we have to like it's behavior. And so we have to like create systems that work for us. And it's like, okay, if you know you can't pay it off every 2 weeks or whatever, then maybe we need to be on an auto pay or maybe so I don't know if the people don't know this, but you can also have a spending limit on your credit card. Like you can set yourself, like if you get online and say, once it hits a thousand, it alerts you or something like that. And so if you know that you have a problem with spending, you can put those alerts up or put those like, I guess you're like putting yourself on a budget with it, and
Love
then
that.
it'll stop you from overspending.
I love
So
that. That's brilliant.
yeah.
So, next question. So, a friend of mine, her son, boys are so stupid. Like, I love that I don't have kids, and I know you don't either. Like,
No, I can't. That's
I
another factor I can't throw in the mix.
I am such a great auntie, and my godson calls me Titi now. Every time he sees me, he
Oh,
goes, "Hi, Titi," and I'm like, "I will buy you anything in the world you want, sweet nugget." But it's so funny. My friend's son, so he's like late teens now, or like somewhere right around there, and he has a job at a restaurant, and you can eat for free at the restaurant. They just take it out of your check. He didn't realize he ate there so much. One day, his check was $2. Uh-huh. I'm not gonna lie, my friend was pissed. She's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" He's like, "That's crazy work, dog. I think that's wrong." She's like, "No, you're being such a dick." So like, what is something that you think stylists really spend money on that keeps them stuck? And not that it's something stupid or dumb, but something that they're like, "Damn, I didn't even notice
DoorDash and Uber Eats.
that."
The amount that gets delivered to my salon, I'm like, I know how much y'all get paid, and I can't afford DoorDash and Uber Eats. How the hell can you afford it? Like,
You're like, "It's in my budget. I don't care."
because I'm like, we got Chick-fil-A. You go to Chick-fil-A. I don't eat Chick-fil-A, so I have no idea how much it is. But let's just say it's $10. You're
It's me
paying
15 bucks
$20.
easy.
Like, you're to DoorDash it, it's like triple.
Yeah.
When you could have just planned and like and I'm sorry again, if that's in your budget and that's your one thing you want to spend money on, that's totally fine, but I know that's not the case for a lot of people. And so for me, I'm like adding it up, like that's what you spend on that is a flight. Like you could go on vacation. And so for me, I'd rather go on vacation than have DoorDash. Now I probably DoorDash like 3 times a year maybe.
I
And like
DoorDash for classes. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah, and I'm not against it at all because sometimes things happen. Like if I forget my lunch, I'll be like, damn it, and I'll have to like order something. But I think it's like people don't plan, and so they just like order things last minute. But they're doing it every day. If you're like, this is my one treat, like once a week, totally fine. But every single day for every meal, I'm like, oh my goodness, like but then they don't have money in their retirement account. They have no money for emergencies. So I'm not against these things if it's within your budget and you're taking care of yourself. And to me, like your retirement and your savings is a bill and it should be getting paid like every month, no matter what. Cause like I broke my wrist, like a year and a half ago and I couldn't work. So
Damn.
it's like, you don't have money just in case an emergency happens, but you're ordering DoorDash. So that kind of stuff is like again, not against it if you're taken care of in every other department, but yeah, that's one thing I see people spending a lot of money on and not taking care of themselves.
I totally agree. And you know what? Something I noticed. So a few years ago when I like transitioned in my job, like it was a crazy time. And I had realized kind of like a little bit before that had happened that I was like, damn, these little shopping apps on my phone are maybe like a little bit too fun. And I realized I was like, oh my God, it's the dopamine. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for dopamine right now. I ended up deleting all of them. Every single shopping app on my phone was gone except for Amazon because weirdly, I don't view Amazon as a shopping app. I fucking know it is, but I go on there for something specific. I'm never like, I wonder what's happening here. I'm like in and out. Like I love my Amazon, but I realized like I took all the shopping apps off my phone and then that also like clicked something in my brain of like how many times was I pulling them up? How many times did I grab my phone to be like, I wonder, and then I'd be like, oh, the apps are gone. Interesting. And like those kind of things like clicked in my head. But yeah, DoorDash I think is expensive, and I think the coffee is very expensive. I mean, get your coffee, girl, but sometimes when they're like, oh, this coffee was $12, I'm like, hold up. Every day? Every day you're buying a $12, $15 coffee? I'm like, that's I like that blows me away, but I also don't drink coffee, so I'm like, that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
So, oh, I had another question for you. Okay, when you're working with stylists, right? Because you have commission stylists, you have booth renters, you have salon owners, you're working with them like individually, right? Like, is the process you have the same, or does your process change depending on like their work, like their work? Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, obviously we tailor it for each person, but the way that yeah, so I have a way that if you have consistent income, we budget one way. If you have
Okay.
inconsistent income, then we budget a different way. And then the way that I set up, because I love a spreadsheet and my husband helps me with all of my spreadsheets. So I like things automated. Again, a lot of people aren't good at math. I love math. I'd rather do pen and paper, but I get some people need to just be able to plug and go. And so the way that I set it up will be like, okay, here's your consistent income. Let's say it's 1,000 a week, but
Mhm.
then you have an extra 400 this week and maybe an extra 200 this week. Then we have places to put that, and it kind of will tell you where it goes or
Mhm.
where it should go. And so when I set up people's budget, it's like similar, but it's always tailored to the individual.
Cool.
Yeah.
So let's say the person's listening now, right? And they are, I mean, they're sweating, girl, because I know this whole episode, y'all gonna need to take a shower after because you're gonna be drenched in sweat. You're probably gonna be a little stinky. Like, this is a hard conversation. So if someone's listening and they're like, damn, I feel like I might need that. I don't know. I'm stressed out. Or let's say there's someone that they're like, I know I need that, but my budget is just not it's not as existent as they would think they might need. What do you do for people who they're like, yo, dog, I'm struggling, but I need help? Like, do you have payment plans? Do you have courses? Like, what is it that you have available for them?
Um, so right now I've been doing a lot of more just like
Cool.
one-on-one work. And then, obviously you know that I have a course coming out that's going to be like all self-paced, but you'll still have my help if you need it. Um, I feel like that is going to be really helpful for people because there is a lot of shame, and talking to someone about your numbers like brings up so much. And this is going to be something you can go on it on your own, kind of deal with those feelings and all that like on your own, which I don't recommend, but also I get it for people that need to do that. But I just like I really just want to be a source to help people because I know how overwhelming it is. And like, I want this to be like attainable for everyone because
Love that.
if you're already struggling to pay off debt or like make ends meet and having to buy a course that's $600, like you're not going to be able to do that. So my goal is to be able to make it affordable for everyone and easy for people to access, and then obviously have access to me if they need it.
I love
Um, and honestly, I just tell people like there is tons of budgeting like free tips out there. And so if that's all you can do, then do that and do start with one thing. It doesn't have to be this like it has to be perfect every day. Like right now, this minute, my budget has to be perfect. Like just find one thing if you're like, okay, I'm gonna cancel one subscription this month to help me and I'm gonna put that money towards a debt. Like that's a start. So you don't have to get crazy and just, you know, go from one extreme to the next because it is hard and it's going to take time.
Yeah. Do you feel like that would be the first step? Or what would be the first step if someone's like, okay, fuck, like I really do need help? Like, where do you recommend they start?
By looking at your last month spending, like, yeah, and just literally like getting it down on paper. Because I think when you like get it out of, because we're in our heads all day. I mean, you know, like we're in a head, like I'm in my head about all kinds of different stuff, not budgeting. It's all the other stuff, life, and so a lot of people are like they just like get it in their head. So like when I meet with people and I'm like, okay, tell me how much you make. How often do you make it? Okay, tell me how much your rent is, your water, your insurance, all that stuff. And I just literally will write it down and the
Yeah.
amount and I compare, okay, what do I make to what do I spend? And then I start dividing it like, okay, what is a need and what is a want? Like I obviously have to have a house, so that I have to keep that. But do I need 6 subscriptions? Probably not. So how can I cut that so that I can pay that towards that? So I think just getting it out of your head and on paper so that you can really see what's going on in like the big picture of your finances is going to be step one, even if you do nothing about it and
Mhm.
you just get it on paper so that you can see. And then maybe that's going to make you feel better, or maybe it's going to be like, oh, you know what? I actually do need help with this because now that it's on paper, I have no idea what to do.
Yeah. I will say my subscriptions to like Hulu, Netflix, you can pry those from my cold dead fingers. I have, I'm like, I know Hulu, Amazon, HBO. Wait, Amazon's not a subscription. Hulu, Netflix, HBO, Peacock. I mean, I have so many. I love them. I mean, I probably spend
Yeah.
150 bucks a month on it. No, I love them. I don't care.
No, and I think that's fine. And so I guess that's what like so let's say in a perfect world you pay off all of your debt, your retirement's paid for, your savings are paid for, like all your bills are paid, and you have all this extra money to blow on whatever the hell you want, blow it. Like
Blow it.
that's what it's there for. Like literally that is your money to have fun with. Like if everything else in your life is taken care of and your future self is taken care of, then yeah, have fun. Get all the subscriptions, go shopping, go out to eat, go on vacation. Like I'm not about just hoarding money and like never doing anything for yourself or for your family or for your friends or
Love that.
whatever. Like that is the money that you have to blow. So do it.
Fuck it. And what
Yeah.
you're saying about going, yeah, you know what? I think that's honestly very opposite from every like budgeting coach I've heard before because they're like, you have to be strict. It's like almost like reminds me of like the envelope method of like, this is what it is. That's it. But I rarely hear it being like, if everything's done and you got this much, fuck it, blow it,
Yes.
like have fun. I love that. But like jumping back to like figuring out your budgeting, my friend with the $2 kid, that sounds rude, but like the $2
Yeah.
paper, she sat down, pulled up his bank account, and was like, yo, dog, we're running through it. And because now he's like working on paying for college and all these things. And there was a few times where he was like, you know, can I have gas money? And she's like, where the fuck is your money? And he's like, money, never heard of it. I don't know. Like he's just a boy, basically. So she pulled up his bank account and she was like, hey, friend, in the past like 3 months, you've spent $2,500 on fast food. And he was like, no, I haven't. And she's like, I literally have it right here. But it's so interesting that some people like, he hears that. And then he was like, no, that can't be true. She's like, yeah, that would have paid for a whole course. That would have paid for all these things. And then even then, I think he's better now. I have to use that tone. Better. I don't know. He's 17, 17, 18. And so he's the smartest person in the whole wide world, like most children are at that age, I guess. But it's so interesting that sometimes like when you really sit down and you're like, where did all my money go, you almost like hurt your own feelings where you're like, did I really do that to myself? Damn. Like,
Yeah.
that's hurtful.
I had one year when I was really trying to break my shopping habit where I like pulled up every month how much I spent on shopping. And I was like, I could have bought a rent house. And so I think that's when like it came in, like everything got put into perspective of like, okay, yes, I like to dress nice. I like to look a certain way, but like at what cost? And I rather like set up for my future because I mean, also we're hairdressers. So like I'm 42, my body cannot do 8 hours worth of clients anymore.
Girl, I'm
No, nor do I want
36.
to.
I can do one client. I do one a day. That's all I can
Literally.
do.
And then at that, I'm like having to stretch after.
I'm too old. I'm like, oh, now I got to go down for 3 business days. I'm exhausted.
Yeah. So I started thinking about that and I'm like, I don't want to work past 50. Like, I am going to work because I'm insane, but like, because I want to, not because I have
Yeah.
to. And so when you really, I think that's another thing that people don't really sit down and look at is like, what are your goals? What do you want your life to be like in a year, 2 years, 10 years? Because yeah, if you want to do hair forever, that's great, but you want to do it because you want to, not because you have to, because you didn't save and it doesn't take much, especially because so many young hairdressers start out at 18, 19 now. Like saving $100 a month from when you're 18 till retirement, like you're going to be rich. And people don't think that that's true, but $100 a month compounded grows a lot. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I just like started looking at big picture of like, is my shopping habit worth our future? And like, what, like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh my goodness. So I did like a thing like you where I didn't shop for like 3 months. and it was hard because it was a dopamine thing. It was like
Yep.
I was getting that hit, and I had to like face that and realize why I needed that feeling. And that, I mean,
Mm.
that's a whole nother podcast episode, but like it was like I was like, oh, and so it was like because I'm an extreme person, I was just like, okay, I have to cut it off, and then I have to figure out why I needed that.
Yeah.
And now it's like I so one thing that helped with that was I would add a bunch of stuff to my cart, or even on Amazon, I'll save it. Like, and it feels like I'm shopping, but I'm not. So I'll save it. And then like a week later, I go back and look at it, and I'm like, why did I save that? That is ugly. I would never wear that. And like, or I put stuff in my cart, and I'm like, who was I when I thought I needed that?
Yeah,
Like, I
what the
don't,
fuck? My
yeah,
mom does that similar thing, but in like real life. Like if we're shopping around the store, she'll grab something. I'll be like, "Oh my god, that's so cute. Let's go to this store." And she'll be like, "I need to walk around with this for about 10 minutes." So she'll just hold it. It's a little shirt. She'll hold a little shirt. She'll walk around, look at other things, and before we go to check out, I'll be like, "All right, what are you getting?" And she'll be like, "Yeah, so I hate this. I don't know why I picked it up." I'm like, "Bitch, you've been holding it for 10 minutes. What do you mean?" But like weirdly, my mom does that. But I agree. Sometimes I'm just like a cart dumper if it's something I don't need, but I see it and I'm like, ooh, and then I'll come back later and be like, who what? Who was the girl that put that in my cart? Who had
I
access to this cart?
know.
That wasn't me.
Well, and that's when I started realizing it's emotional because whatever I was feeling at that time, I thought I needed that or I needed to look a certain way or whatever. And I'm like, no, like that's not even so I now it takes me a long time to buy something, which is kind of, I mean, I annoy myself with it. It's not annoying anybody else, but like I'm like, why can't I just make a decision? But it's because I need to really know that it's an investment and know that like, okay, is this blazer I'm going to wear over and over and over, or I just want it right now because I think it's cute on that person.
Yep. I love that. Okay, so last, someone's listening, they're stressed out, they're worried. How can they reach you? How can they find you and get a hold of you to be like, yo, dog, I need help?
I mean, Instagram is probably the best place. You can DM me. I will always answer. Don't ignore people. And so I think Instagram, and then setting like we can set up a call, and so with the call it's usually lasts about 30 minutes. I just kind of get like a big picture of where you're at, what you're needing, and how I can help you. And it's been very rare that I can't help
I
someone. Yeah, it's like they'd have to have a lot going on for me not to be able to help. One thing that I do not help on, and I just want to make that clear, is like actually investing and that kind of stuff. I don't really
like
give advice.
financial advisor type shit.
Right. And I do have someone that I work with that I love, that I'm obsessed with, that I trust with my life. I mean, he has all of my money, but um I don't really give advice on that because I feel like sometimes people were like, "Oh, should I invest in this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I don't
Bitch, I'm
know."
not a stockbroker here. I don't know.
No, absolutely not. But if you need help just like creating a budget of just like a normal everyday budget, getting out of debt, setting up an emergency fund, setting up like sinking funds and all that stuff, like that's where I can come in. Um, so right now I am still taking some one-on-one clients up until probably this next month when I launch my course. And
Cool.
then once I have the course, then obviously you can get that.
I love that. And then also, can you also help people? Let's say someone they're like, hey, in the next year or so, I know I want to open up a salon. Can you also help them budget to like have the money able to like put down for that? It's not just get out of debt, it's also for, like you said, like future planning.
Oh yeah, that's my favorite thing to do. Like well, I also do like coaching on the side. So I do help like other businesses and that stuff right now. Like right now I'm working with it's not even a salon, it's a tattoo studio. I'm helping a girl that's like opening a tattoo studio, which is very similar to the
Cool.
hair world, like the structure. And I've learned so much about tattoos. But yeah, if you want to open a salon and need help on the business side, like how to budget for a salon, how to manage salon finances, how to do like um, projections and stuff like that for your salon, and making sure you can afford it before you even open, even with the loan process, like how much money do you need for the loan process and all that. I love doing that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm happy to help anyone who wants to open a salon and needs help to save and to figure out their budget for that.
Love that. And could you also help someone, let's say it's just like a solo stylist in a salon or in a suite, and they're like, damn, I'm tired. I think I need help. Can you also just even help them figure out, like, hey, yes, you can afford an assistant. Here's what you can pay. Or, hey, dog, you absolutely cannot. Like, here's the numbers you'd have to hit.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can do like, if you need like, okay, we have to make this amount of money for you to afford an assistant, or if you're wanting to, let's say you are commissioned and want to move to a booth rent, then how are you going to do that? How can you afford that? So I have a few booth renters that I help with their finances. I help them with their personal finances, and then I help them set up for them transitioning to booth rent. And now they have a sheet that they fill out every week, and it's like, okay, here's my rent, here's how much I buy color extensions, all that stuff, and then here's how much I had to save for taxes, and then here's how I pay myself. So yeah, I love doing that kind of stuff too.
Love that. And I ask all those questions so that you guys can see, like, it's not just about you're in debt, let me get you out of debt. It's debt, it's retirement, it's planning for salons, for employees, for vacations, like kids. One thing I do for my godson, I told my brother, I said, for every birthday, I will give you $100 for however year he's turning. So when he was one, he got
Oh,
100. This year he turned two, he got 200. By the time he's 18, he's getting 1,800. I think I did the math. By the time he's like 21, it'll be a little over like $23,000. And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, all of that goes to Luke. He will get it every single year. So do
oh,
with it what you will. I put him in contact with my financial advisor, and I'm like, figure out what to do with this money because it's coming every single year. Like,
I love
that's,
that.
yeah, I'm like, you don't get a birthday present from me right now. You get money that goes into an account, and you'll appreciate it someday in the future.
Yeah, and I have some clients that like have kids, or like people that don't have debt, but they're like, I have money and I don't know what to do with it. And I'm like, okay, well let's figure it out. And I think too, even just little things like, because well, I'm a planner for everything. Like I plan for like I'm already saving for Christmas, and it's March, and so like yeah.
Shit. I'm not.
So I have a budget even for birthdays. Like, you have friends that you buy birthday presents every year. So like, and then having a number attached to that person. Like, okay, I know this person I always spend $100 on. So at the beginning of the year, let's say I spend $1,200 for the year for like friends and family birthdays. So every month I'm saving $100 in a like in a savings bucket that's like, so I know when that birthday comes up, I have $100 to spend on that person.
Oh,
And that way it's just done. Yeah.
that's brilliant. I'm like, how
Yeah.
much do I love you this year? No, I'm kidding.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you could. I mean, like before, I used to be like, because I had so many like birthdays, baby showers, weddings, and I'm like, $50 is the max I'm spending on someone. So I'll go on their list, whatever is $50, that's what I'm buying. And
Love it.
but now, like, obviously, I can afford a little bit more, so I like have upped the number. But like, if you look at it in a big picture, like 1,200 for the year is not that much. I mean, like if you can afford it. So it's like you have $1,200, and then you can go and like buy that friend a present and know that you can afford it, and it's like it's not putting you in debt. You
Yeah.
have it, and it's like you're able to give with freedom, and that feels really good because you're like, I know that I have this money to give someone, and I don't. It's not putting me behind,
I
and it's a
love
lot more fun to give that way.
Yeah, that's way. My family is so small that I feel like Christmas presents are easy, and there's like two friends I buy presents for. So I'm like, this
Yeah,
is great. This is easy peasy for me.
yeah.
I love that. Well, Adriana, thank you so much for being here today. Like, guys, I'm telling you right now, I personally know her. I can 100% like attest. There are very few people that I'm like, I would stake my reputation on these people, but you're one of those people.
I love
Like,
that. I love
most
you.
other
Thank you.
people, I'm like, I don't know, you do whatever you want. They're not my problem. But you, I am like, I can attest for her. I know who you are as a person. So if you're someone listening and the thought of even thinking about money makes your eyes tear up and makes your eyes well and makes you want to cry, I'm telling you, she can help you, and it will be done with like kindness and love, which I feel like is what's really needed when you're talking about money and someone is already on the verge of like a mental fucking breakdown.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm going to put all of her information down below. If you have any questions, what's your handle on Instagram?
It's just my name, Adriana Y Martinez.
I'm like, I know
Yeah.
there's a Y in there. Yeah, Adriana Y Martinez. It's spelled exactly as it sounds.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. Any final words to everyone listening?
Oh man, that's a lot of pressure.
She's like, oh, I'm
I
sorry.
mean,
That.
no, 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 it's okay. I mean, yeah, just take it one. We're doing our best. Take it one. one debt at a time, one savings at a time. Like, yeah, don't get overwhelmed. It's going to be okay. I got your back. We're just all here trying to do our best.
Dude, I say that all the time. I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm just a girl. I'm just a person here doing the best I can every day. I
I
love
know.
that. Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. And guys, thank you for listening to another episode of Morning Tea. And we'll see you next week.
Thank
Bye.
you.